This is the Wrestling with Your Calling podcast with Dr. Conrad, Season 2, The Matters of the Heart. I'm your host, Dr. Conrad Davies. For this season, we're going to do a deep dive into the matters of the heart. Proverbs 20 and 5 will be our lead scripture. It says, "The purposes of a person's heart are like deep waters, but a person of understanding can draw them out." I pray that we become a people of understanding who draw out the deep matters of the heart. I'm excited about what you will learn today. Thanks for tuning in. Hey friend, welcome back again. I know it's been a while, but I'm back. It's Dr. Conrad. Last season, I did a lot of interviews, offered some Dr. Conrad insights. This season, I keep getting a sense to really talk about deep matters of the heart. Deep matters of the heart. I want to base this off of Proverbs 20 and 5, which says, out of the English Standard Version, it says, "The purposes of a man's heart are like deep waters, but a man of understanding can draw them out." And so when I speak to this, saying that the purposes of a man's heart are like deep waters and that a man of understanding can draw them out, one prayer that I've had before the Lord has been, "Lord, will you make me a man of understanding?" It's call it an odd prayer if you want, but it was a prayer that really bubbled up because I thought, man, in my life I've had a lot of things go on. And I realized that those things had loads of complexity. It was beyond my life. In other words, they were generational. I felt like I was a character in another story, which is true. I am a character in God's story. I felt like there's certain things I don't have control of. I didn't have control of things that really were just well beyond me. And so I see when I look at the scripture, I see the power of it, where it says the purposes, or another translation says the counsel of a man's heart are like deep waters. Now, let me use a word picture. Deep waters, I want to liken it to an ocean. Think about how vast the ocean is. If I recall, parts of the ocean can be miles deep, miles deep. But then think about how big the ocean is. So consider the volume of water that is inside of the ocean. Consider all the life inside the ocean, all the type of fish, all the type of aquatic life that's there. Just consider how big it is, how most of the planet, this big planet that we live on, I think is 70% of water, and that's the oceans and the seas. That's a lot of water. That's talk about deep. But then he says a man of understanding can draw it out. So let me use another word picture in this. Consider people that do deep sea diving, and that they have their scuba gear, they have their equipment, they go out on the seas and they go try to search out things. Well, there's only so far they can go. For one, the water pressure will kill them if they go too deep, which means we don't even have the technological equipment, the ability, the capacity to go to those real deep depths. But then when we look at what the scripture says, it says that a man of understanding can draw them out. These deep purposes, these deep counsel, the heart of humanity can be drawn out, which I believe once the human capacity ends, like the scuba diver, I believe we need revelation. And I believe we need insight. I believe we need God's understanding to be able to draw these things out, and then they could come to the surface so we can see them, and then we can examine them. They're actually playing, and we can see them. So I'm saying this to you here in the very beginning of a new season because of the sense I kept getting. I have these moments where I'll wake up in the morning, my early mornings, and I feel like the Lord is speaking to me about things, and I'll find myself just running with this thought that came to mind. Excuse me. Um, I'll start running with the thought that comes to mind, and as I run with that thought, what will happen is I'll find myself saying, "Okay, Lord, are you trying to say something here? Are you trying to communicate something here?" And I believe that's what happened this morning. I just felt this fire begin to bubble up and say, "All right, it's time to talk about the deep matters of the heart." And so I want to prepare you for potentially a fire hydrant of 15-minute or so blast of insights and thoughts and things about your heart, my heart, our heart, the heart of people. and to really stir you over each podcast episode to really just take really about 15 minutes to talk out some matter, whether it's from scripture or something I've been pondering in my own life, whether it's a story. And then I also want to reference you to some of my friends that I've already interviewed. Let me give a shout out to Dr. Kevin Brown, president of Asbury University. The other day I was talking to him and he says, "Hey, are you still doing your podcast?" And I said, "Yeah, I took a break. I'm in between seasons. Apologize." He says, "Man, I've been subscribed to it." And he said, "Man, I really enjoyed your podcast." And it just stirred something. And then, but then I interviewed him last season. If you want to go look at the interview, go listen to him. That man's heart for students and the heart for this next generation is amazing. And so I'm going to encourage you to go listen to his. And then another shout out to another past interviewee of Peter Wetzler. He's my Olympian friend who I met his first summer of college. He was a student in my class at the University of Kentucky, and he sends me a text message and says, "Hey, you still doing your podcast?" And I said, "Well, I mean, I'm taking a break, but I'm gonna pick back up with a new season soon." He's like, "Oh, okay," and so it just encouraged me, and I also actually feel that the timing of the Lord is now, because here's these two men that I respect greatly, faithful listeners. I enjoyed my time with them over our interview and time life I've spent with them over outside of just the interview, but life I've spent with them. And here they are saying, "Hey, you still doing that podcast?" And so that really encouraged me. And so there may be others of you that may have asked that question. "Hey, is Conrad still doing his podcast?" Yes, I am. Now it's the timing. And so I'm trusting the winds of the spirit are about to blow through these next set of episodes that are going to come out over a period of time. I'm not sure how long this season is going to last, but I do know I need the sense I keep getting is I need to talk out this Proverbs 20 and 5. And I need to take us deeper and to help us think about the matters of the heart and to really those things that are under the surface, deep down in the heart of us, to come to the surface, make them conscious and plain, and then bring them to a place where we can start to see them, examine them. So many scriptures to share with you, so many things to bring up, so many things to talk about. Furthermore, let me add a few other things. This is going to be, I want to encourage you also with if you've not had any consulting time with me and you want a consultation, you can go to my website, wrestlingwithyourcalling.com, and do a consulting there. There's a menu option that talks about consulting. You can get it consulted. We can sit down, schedule a time. Consulting may take 15 minutes. It may take 30 minutes, an hour. It may take 90 minutes, but we'll get to the root of something and I'll sort of leave you with some things to ponder, to talk about, to process, some action steps, some things to think through. And then you can consider if you want to go further, further with more time with me and those kind of things. All of those things will be available to you. Just go to the website, wrestlingwithyourcalling.com slash I believe it's slash consult. Well, I'll put it in the description if that whatever the details of that extension, but you can go to the website wrestlewithyourcalling.com and find that there. I'm excited for us, guys. Um, Let me start ending with this. This is again, these are gonna be short blasts. It's almost like I want to have regular conversations with you and just really talk out some deep things. And as we talk out these deeper things, I'm hoping you're gonna feel loved. I'm hoping you're gonna feel a sense of insight. If you want to use these things devotionally to process and to think about throughout your day, go for it. I'm not sure how often I'm going to be uploading and posting, but be sure to subscribe to the channel so that my podcast so that you can when the new things come out you are ready for it and you hear it when it dings. Last season I said Tuesday Thursdays, and I realized that that sometimes when I have structures like that it can bind me to feel like, okay, I've got to get this out. I want to give you quality stuff, so expect regularity and frequency, but how often, I'm not sure yet because I'm really going to trust some of the inspirations I get. I'm also going to trust that I've got a lot. So it could come out daily at times. It could come out every other day. Hopefully, this doesn't, for those of you that are extremely structured, this doesn't cause any kind of angst, like, when is it coming? But more so, I'm just wanting to be very truthful to how I'm wired. There are times I get loads of inspiration, and I may spit out a lot. And then I've got the person who works with me, Grace Hambrick, who's been amazing. I want to be tender to her, helping me just sort of master things and get them mastered well, so that you get a quality audio and some of the video. Some of the video I'm going to do a little bit more raw, but some of the audio that need to just get it cleaned up so that you have um, a quality listening experience. So let me start ending. And if you haven't listened to my story in last season, you can go back to the previous season and see season one and just listen to my story. It's the very first podcast. And I talk a lot just about my past and the things that I've experienced. I'm going to highly encourage you to think through just some of those things I've gone through and also connect it to your own worlds. Where we're going is going to be deep, and I'm trusting that you're going to get some insights, and that as I've prayed, being a man of understanding, I trust that you will start to ask that question pray for to the Lord and say, Lord, will you give me understanding, skill, capacity, ability to really see these things, tear things apart, and reconstruct them. Will you help me to see my righteous self, my righteous personality is what I call it. Will you help me to see who I really am? Not these things that are layered by life circumstances or by how I've understood it from my human lens, but help me to go deeper and to really say there are deep things that construct my world. And Lord, I don't know if I know what they are. And if the challenge becomes that seems too timely, costly, you don't know what to do, I can help you. Just reach out for a consultation. We can work through what that may look like. I'm going to trust for revelation with you. I'm going to trust to dig into those things that are deep in your heart. I want to be other centered and help you be empowered and help you wrestle with your calling, help you wrestle with your identity, help you wrestle with who you are and who God has made you to be. I want to help you do that. And so all I'm saying in this is, I'm I feel very if the fear of the Lord is increasing upon me. It's very sobering to be where I'm at right now in this season of my life and to really walk with you through this journey. And so if you're not comfortable yet, keep listening to the podcast. But those of you that are saying, yeah, I want to sit down with a consultation, just reach out. And as you reach out, we can have our consultation. And if we need to go further, great. If we don't, then the consultation is sufficient and we'll just kind of go from there. We'll set up a time, and again, it could be between 30 minutes to 90 minutes. It just depends. Whatever your situation is, whatever you bring to the table, I'm okay with that, and we can just work through it and process it accordingly. So, friends, again, I'm hoping you're well, friend. I'm hoping that you are at a place where um, you're excited like I am. There is a lot to come, a lot of great things that we're going to talk through. And the more we talk through it, the better it's going to get. And the more you're going to understand, the more I'm going to understand, the more I'm going to work, the more we're just going to go on this journey together because we are on this journey together. So, friend, I'll see you soon. Talk to you soon. Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. That is so critical. Your subscription is going to help that when a new thing comes out, you'll be ready. For those that are on the YouTube channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel so that you're ready. Those things that you need, those things that there's going to be some neat things that you may need through this process because the human heart is deep. It's complex. There's so much that comes out of it. Solomon tells us in Proverbs 4 and 23 to guard our heart, for out of it flow the issues of life. Issues, plural. There's a lot of things. The matters of the heart, the matters of life come out of the heart. And so we need to guard it, protect it, consider it like a central administration of life, to where you think about the central headquarters of a company. That's a very protective place. Sometimes central headquarters, you have to have a security badge to be able to come into headquarters because of just the nature of there's top secret stuff in the heart that we want to protect and we want to just keep so that trade secrets don't get out or things don't come out of that are now um, used in negative ways because of something we've done in a secret place. Hope all that makes sense. I've just said a lot. So these are of course going to be raw. Those of you that know me, you know how raw I can get about certain things. For those that are just now learning about who I am, I hope we have some great conversations together, and hope you're the listening for you and just me sharing things. If you have questions for me, reach out. We can just engage just a culture that we go deep and we allow the Lord to examine those deep things of our hearts and learn from what the Lord's trying to communicate. I'm excited for you, friends. Thanks for joining in. This is Wrestling with Your Calling with Dr. Conrad. I am so excited for you, excited for the season, excited for where we're going. Peace to you. Peace. Wow, friend. I appreciate your support of this podcast. This season is powerful, and I hope it brings you loads of encouragement, insight, and hope. I hope you listen to these episodes repeatedly and share them with your friends. If you haven't ordered a copy of the book, you can do so at our website, wrestlingwithyourcalling.com. Also, I'd love to coach you, so reach out for a consultation through the website as well. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to email me. All the contact information is below or on the website. And be sure to subscribe so that you're notified of the next episodes. I'll be putting out a lot of content this season. Remember, I want you to become an ace. Go be activated, cultivated, and empowered today. Until next time, friends. Shalom.